So, okay, right? You know? When you see these words, what comes to mind? Does it sound like a sentence, a jumble of random words, or nothing at all? How about the phrase verbal fillers? Hi, my name's Giovanna. I'm a consultant at UNCG Speaking Center, and today I'm going to be talking to you about verbal fillers. I'll be discussing what they are, why people use them, and tips on how to use them less. But first, what are verbal fillers? An article from the New York Times in 2017 titled, How do you stop using verbal fillers words? Labels verbal fillers as a discourse markers, interjections, or verbal pauses. They are the words that are used when formulating a verbal sentence that don't hold any actual meaning. Words like the list that I provided at the beginning of the video. Okay, right, you know? Now that I've explained what they are, I'm going to talk about why people use them. Nearly in any conversation you listen to or say, it has verbal fillers. They are put into parts of a sentence when a speaker wants to emphasize a point that they're having something to say more of, but most commonly it's used to fill the gap between words when the speaker is at a loss of what to say next. Most people aren't aware of verbal fillers, and everybody does it on a daily basis. The problem arises when speakers are put into a more formal setting, such as an interview or presenting a presentation. These situations heighten stress and anxiety, enhancing the use of verbal fillers. When giving a speech, the use of verbal fillers can result in audience members perceiving the speaker as unskilled, inarticulate, and possibly incompetent on what they're talking about. But it's not all doom and gloom. Now that you can recognize verbal fillers for what they are and why we use them, I'll teach you some tools on how to cut down on using them. First, before anything else, you need to know what you're going to say. When giving a presentation, it's important to first write out a script of some sorts. Even a general overview or a few notes will help you from overthinking about what you want to say when the time comes. Second, say the speech as if you were presenting it and record yourself while doing so. Then, listen to the recording and note where you use the use of verbal fillers and where they're most prominent in your speech. Next, practice your speech again and again, working on cutting down the amount of verbal fillers each time. You don't have to memorize the speech word for word, but by becoming more comfortable with each speech, you are less likely to rely on verbal fillers. Finally, always remember to breathe. When taking your time and including spaces in your speech to pause and breathe, you won't find it necessary to use verbal fillers in spots at the end of sentences. In conclusion, the use of verbal fillers is one of the most harmless habits that everyone shares, but it can become detrimental in cases of great importance. I've gone over now what verbal fillers are, why people use them, and tips for how to use them less. If you have any more questions or are interested in finding out more about public speaking, please visit www.speakingcenter.uncg.edu. There you can find tip sheets on subjects like verbal fillers and so much more. Thanks for watching!